Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Owl House Season 1 Episode 7, Lost in Language. And I wanted to say thank you for my 15th subscriber, whoever you are, because I don't have like a name, but thank you for like the other 14 of you for subscribing for for so long. So just wanted to do that. I'm gonna like once I get to like a certain number, I'm gonna thank for the subscribers and stuff. So and I got to like 15 today. So hooray! And the next one will be like 20 to 25 and 30. So and so on and so forth. But anyway, this week I'm gonna be doing The Owl House. And it's actually up to the mid-season finale, so we're gonna be halfway done with season 1 of The Owl House. So that's gonna be pretty cool. So I'm gonna get to this scene in a couple minutes, but we start with episode 7, Lost in Language. It's in the Owl House. Luce is on the couch with her reading her Good Witch Azura book with King on the couch, and she's like Azura befriended her rival Hecate, and like and she's like, oh, I wish I could do that, and King is like rivals meant to be just annihilated, not befriended. And now keep reading. I've been sucked into your awful fandom. King does 2 fourth wall jokes, and this one's okay because there's like the Owl House does shorts. I'm not gonna be reviewing them, but one of them is like King going through the channels, so they kind of like have like TV, and he makes a fourth wall joke about like Cartoon Network. I'll get to that when it comes, but this one's about fandoms, and maybe he got it from Luce, but I don't know. The joke coming from King doesn't really make any sense, so it's at like a 95% right now, but. Mm. But anyway, Lucius continues reading the book. It's like, oh, then the door opens, and then the door opens, and he's like, hoot, and King's like, oh, the book's alive, burn it, and Luce goes to see what it is, and it's a basket. She picks up the basket, and Ida, you got a package, and Luce and King with the basket goes into the kitchen, and she puts the basket on the kitchen table, and there is a note. When it's like a baby, and King's like, oh, fresh meat, and Lucy's like, oh, I'm not doing that, and Ida says what did she say? Eating babies is so 1693, so I guess they used to eat babies like a long time ago, and King reads this like note that says, watch my baby till morning, signed Yi. That's like her name, and you'll be handsomely rewarded, XOXOXO, the Bat Queen. And she's like, Bat Queen, like reward, and Luke's like, who's the Bat Queen? And it's like, oh, she's like the richest lady, the richest demon in the Boiling Isle, so she's like really rich. Oh, okay. And he's like, oh yeah, okay, so we just had to watch this baby to the morning, and we're gonna get this reward, awesome. And Lucy's like, oh, this is gonna be so wonderful, watching a baby, learning lessons and like growing together as a family. And he's like, yeah, no. And she does this pause circle, you're gonna return all my books. And he is like going to King and say, I don't want her to get part of the loot. And King's like, good thinking. They're not good people, but whatever. And Ida goes to take off the blanket, and it's this back demon thing is screeching. And it's like, oh, at least we need your help. I said, well, you gave me this book, so I'm gonna return it. So we got the A plot and B plot, and this is my other complaint of the episode, that it's gonna turn to a 90, where we got the A plot where it's Ida and King watching the babysitting, and Luce is gonna they return the books, which turns into like a whole thing. I'll get to it when I get to it. So it should have done something different. Like this, what I would have done if I wrote this episode, or co-write it. I guess I don't know what my position would be, but basically, Luce, like, Edith was like, "Oh, apprentice, get in the kitchen." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, well, what's up, owl lady? And he's like, "I need you to return these books for me. Like, because the librarian's gonna like have my head, so I want you to return it." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then when she leaves to return the books, they say, "Oh, Edith, you got a package." Edith and King bring in the package, and now Luce is gonna bring in the books to the library. So she leaves the house, and it's just Edith and King discussing about, okay, we're just gonna watch the baby. Then the baby screeches, and then we go back to Luce with the A plot, her carrying the books to the library. That's how I would have done it. So we had the A plot with Luce and the books, B plot, Edith and King with the baby. That's how I would have done it, but because the baby's, it has some implications at the end, but well, whatever. It's at 90 right now. And basically, Luce is carrying all the books. They're really, they're not that heavy, but there's like a lot of them. She's trying not to drop them. We get to the library, and I wish I can show the library. I mean, you get to see inside of the library, but outside looks pretty cool. And just like a star, glass, and that actually looked pretty cool. But maybe I actually did show the library actually in the season 1 trailer. Actually, I actually did show it. So you can go back to that video probably. But she goes inside, and then she's about to drop the books in the library and just catches it, and late. Oh, it's covered with water. It's like damaged. Late. So, and you actually can see there's like a photo. I'm probably not even pointing at it, but next to this photo right, this says Wailing Star, and you see the star crying. There's this little photo right here. It's the only photo on the whole table, but the counter, and it basically says like library revoked, and she has like a yeah face. So she got her library card revoked, but they still still get the books. And this library guy is kind of rude, and he says like oh, we're gonna be closing early because of the Wailing Star. And Lucy's like, "Oh, what's that?" And he's like, "You're in a library. Read a book." And Lucy's like, "Okay, I'll read a book." And then there's a demon decimal system. Ha ha ha. Do not feed. And Lucy like feeds it a candy. Okay. And she's like, we got these two cuties. This is a quiet sign right here, and this reminds me of Harry Potter, where Hermione like has the book, and she puts it, and it goes up the shelf. So it's kind of like a maybe call back to that. And Lucy's like grabbing onto the books, and they're like, "Oh," and they're like, "Shh," and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And there's a reference, and there's these crystal balls, and oh, you'll learn how to fly. Oh, cat videos. And it's loading. I guess like the demon decimal system was around before these, and it's more for like the older folks and the younger folks use this. So that's what I'm guessing. And like and Luce hears Amity's voice. Remember from episode 5 from Convention, in her first episode in episode 3. I was a teenage abomination. Terrible episode. But she's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And Lucy's like, "Oh, she found me disguised as a book." And Lucy's like, "Oh, well, what's going on over here?" And you see this sign that says Odabin, and this cute little guy, and Amity's reading a book to kids. I just want to play this scene.
Tin Boy with a yelp, Odabin smiled and paced the floor. "I've never had real friends before. Amity reading to kids? Then we'll be your first." The chicken witch clucked. Odabin couldn't believe his luck.
I wish I could play the whole thing, but I don't want to get copyright strike. So hopefully it wasn't too much. But he said don't worry, Tin Boy. Like, I never had any friends before. Like the what is it? The corn witch with a cluck. And like Odin couldn't believe his luck with all the rhymes, and it says like, you know, Odin finally had friends, and that was the end. And you know, it's a kids' corner, and I absolutely love this. And Luce is like, it's like, oh, Amity's being so nice and so smiley. Maybe I can befriend her, like Azura befriended her rival, you know, like Hecate. And then this demon guy is like, oh, thank you, Miss Amity. And I said, oh, you're welcome, Braxis. You see you next week. And he's like, yay. And you see Amity right here. And then, she sees Lucy like, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, it's you. And Lucy's like, oh, hey, Amity. Oh, um, is it, oh, reading to kids? Like that's very sweet of you. She's like, she's like, yo, it looks like this sour lemon has like a sweet center. And she's like, oh, this is just extra credit. Don't get your leggings in a bunch. I guess these are leggings. And you know, Lucy's like, you know, trying to be friendly, where it's like, you know, I could like help out with the kids, like I can do voices, I do a great monster voice, and um, I got, I could just see why Emily's upset, and because she's 100% right. She might be getting really angry, and no one likes to see an angry person, but she's 100% right. She says it funny first, where she's like human, you don't see me going to the owl shack where you're fry up owls. I don't know what you do there. I'm gonna play this.
Okay, I don't really know what you do there, but every time you come near me, I get in trouble. Just leave me alone. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Amity's 100% right. You know, you broke into school. It basically humiliated her. You went to the convention. You made that stupid bet. And that was a way better episode than episode 3. But and you know, he's like, you know, you embarrassed me in both places, and that is not really like hate or malice. It's kind of like, I just want to be like a good student and a good, well, not good person. Because she's not really a good person, but in this episode, she's complicated. But basically, she's like, I just want to be a good student, and like I don't want any trouble, because it's not like you're a bad person, but anytime you're around, things just go wrong. I just don't want you near me, because I don't want to be around things when things go wrong, and I could totally understand that. And you know, and Luce says, yeah, I'm sorry. And then Amity kind of reaches out for her because, oh, maybe I said the wrong thing. And Lucy's like, oh, why do I have to say things like that? And then like the guy says, oh, you're gonna let her get to you like that? And then you get to see these two people in beauty marks. And they're part of they're light blue, so they're part of the illusion track, so that's pretty cool. And she's like, oh, like, who are you guys? And what are you guys doing here? And he's like, oh, she's holding like a cute bunny lunchbox. Okay. And he's like, oh, we're on a noble quest, like a solemn mission. Like, watch this. And he's like, oh, hey, Mittens. And she just got really embarrassed. As I'm assuming they're like siblings or cousins. And he's like, oh, mom says don't stop like leaving your lunch at home. So I guess she's kind of embarrassed by it. And this guy is like, and stop being so rude to your friend. And she's like, oh, she's not my friend. And then Luce gets like really sad, and this girl's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That she's way too cool for you. And like, she's like, oh, I am. And it's like, you can all leave. And like, she's chuckling, and he just gives her like the wink. And Luce blushes. And yeah, I already said, like, in the episode, what was it? Intruder. Episode 4, that Luce is bi, so she likes guys and girls. But he's pretty cute. And I guess you got to see right here the star design on this what do you call it? This type of glass. If I find the name, I'll tell you guys. But with these torches on this is pretty cool. And I want to play this right here.
Human we've heard so much about.
I'm Emra, and this is Edric. We're Amity's older siblings. We heard how you embarrassed her at the school and at the witch convention last week. No wonder she hates you. I know, but I didn't mean any of it.
So, this is Emra, and this is Edric, and he's like, we heard how you're the famous human that you embarrassed her at the school and embarrassed her at the convention, and just like I said, it was episode, what was it, 6? Hooji's Movie Hassle, where I was like, how come the mean girls, like Basha, how come they don't know that Willow took control of the front of the school with her vines, and how come did Amity forget? And I made like a little prediction that she went to be like a prissy you-know-what, and went to her parents and said, oh, half of which Willow took my badge, and I said the Blights probably covered it up, and these two know, oh, you embarrassed her at the school, so they know, and they were probably there, probably like at dinner time or something, where Amity complained about this. So, see, I'm onto something. Sorry, I don't mean to sound like a know-it-all, but it's like it's piecing together. It's like, we heard you embarrassed her at school, embarrassed her at the convention. No wonder why she hates you. And then you were Amity's older siblings. And she's like, oh, I didn't mean any of it. I thought we were cool as cucumbers, we're sour as pickles, though. And then she's like, oh, don't worry about mittens. We're way more fun than her. And then like she's like, okay, come on. And then this is my third complaint in the episode. You could do like the triple with like comedy. I'm not gonna play it because it's stupid. But Edric like erases like the non part of the fiction, and this guy, you're doing like his usual routines and rounds what you're supposed to do for tours and stuff. Oh, here we go into our non-fiction section. And he's like, fiction. Fiction? Is our world but fiction? Or was my world even real anymore? That's what it basically sounds like. And one, you can see that's totally erased, and you would probably know it would say nonfiction. You even said you're going to the nonfiction section. So why would it? It's dumb. And she's pretty cute. And basically, so I don't know why he's like overreacting like this. And he did do this 3 times, so it's at 85, like out of 100, 85% out of 100% right now. So this thing, he's like crying on the floor, and I actually thought this was pretty funny, where he's like putting a book on the shelf, and it's not illusion magic, but kind of like the levitation, and they're putting it like back up here, and he is put a book, and then they're doing the same thing. And they do the joke again where they move this guy where this guy is, and like vice versa. And he's like, oh no, not again.
No, not again.
Sorry, I did not mean to play that. It was a slip of my finger, but you get to hear his voice. Like, you're welcome, but did not mean to play that. But he's like, oh no, not again. And that guy just falls. Okay. And Edric blows his dust in the demon decimal system, and they're coughing stuff. He's the living things, and Luce is jumping around because maybe she thinks this is how libraries work here. And Ammon's like, and then he's like, oh, where's Gary? And then he's like, oh no. They do it 3 times. Thank goodness they don't do it again. But yeah, and Amity being responsible is like, kick these idiots out, and you're kicked out. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just leave it. I was trying to get rid of that white block, but whatever. But anyway, so they do that triple dumb joke, and Luce, Emra, and Edric are outside. They're laughing, and she's like, oh, she's even more mad at me now, and that wasn't my idea. I wanted to be your friend, and then she's like, oh, don't worry about her. You can be our friend, and I wish I can show it, but again, the clip is over. But Emera and Edric give each other like a look, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? And and then they're like, oh, we're gonna come back later tonight because we got kicked out, and there's a book we forgot to get. And like, you down? Like, do you want to come? Is it like, yeah, okay, sure. And then Edric and Emera just go off, and Lucy's excited, like yeah. She's like, okay, first I befriend the siblings, then I befriend Amity, and she's like, yay. And then you see Amity do the oh, I forgot to mention this. When she said she got mad at me again, and then Edric was like, oh no, when Min's get mad, she does this, and he went like, and her face got all red, and they said, ooh, I almost passed out. Because Amity does the same thing where she gets like really mad when like Luce runs down the stairs, and she's like, whew, I almost passed out. So I thought that was pretty funny that they know each other like that. And you get back to the A plot. I'm gonna call the Bat Lady the baby, the Bat Lady, blah blah, the Bat babysitting thing, the A plot. So we went to A plot, this B plot, back to the A plot, put down quotes. And then Ida has her broken hands, like you can attachments, and put her in her ear, and King has these pillows like attached to his like around his head. And then Ida's like, oh, we're doing it for the money. And he's like, okay, I think I got something. And she ties her hands back together, and then she picks up the baby and said like rock, maternal dresser. And then the baby like calms down, like sleeps, and Luce comes in the owl house and said like, oh, I had a great day, and older teens like me. And he's like, oh, Ida, you look so motherly. And she's like, if you want to keep that tongue in yours, you would not say that again. And he's like, oh, how could you say that with this little cutie? And she like tickles the bat, and it births up his brothers or sisters, I don't know, but siblings basically, and basically it's 3 of them now, and they're not crying, but they're flying around, and Lucy's like, ugh. And he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna go back out, like, enjoy your lessons of life. And they're like, we're doing it for the money, right? Yeah, King's like, yeah, we're doing it for the money. And it gets like his hours pass by, and Lucy's by this like pillar right here, and gets on the left, and she's trying to be cool. It's like, oh, cool? Oh, cool. Like she's leaning against the pillar, and then Edric and Emera's like, and then she like falls out. Oh, hey guys. And she's like, oh, like don't worry. Whatever you were doing, it was super cool. Yep. And it's like, okay. And they were like kind of wearing like casual clothes. So I thought that was pretty cute, but I can't show it. But they had this like scroll thing, and then they put it to the door. And then like they break in. And the reason why I'm not getting any points is because this is their first episode that they're in. And this is establishes to me that they like to break into places. And Luce already broke into Hexside, so I already knew that she was gonna do something like this. Already established, but they come in and Edric's like, oh, come on, and then the Wailing Star happens, and it goes, pretty cool like lighting effect. And say, oh, nothing happened. And Luce opens the book of these exotic birds, and birds come out. I liked how the books came to life. That's cool. But the Wailing Star making it happen, that doesn't really make any sense. So it's at an 80 right now. But you could have made it something else. They look kind of like, oh, this star like brings life or something, but not like the Wailing Star where it basically doesn't make any sense. So it's at 80 right now. But and then like she closes the book, so everything goes away. So that's pretty cool. That you close the book, it fixes your mess. And they're just basically having fun. And Edric and Emera open this magazine, and they got these witch outfits, and Luce opens this war one, and she has like a sword on her back, and this like hair is all like spiky, and she kind of falls over. And Luce opens this like comic one, and nothing happened, and nothing happened bubble popped up, and Edric and Amber said, "Wow!" At the same time, this big wow, and she closes the book. Everything disappears, and there's like a thump, like thought bubble pops outside. I thought that was pretty cool. And they're like doing a snowball fight. It's like, oh, the history of snowballs, and Lucy's trying to get Edric, and Emma just throws one in her face. And Edric and Emma are still having a snowball fight, and Luce finds the book that Amity was reading, the Odabin book, and she's like reading it, and just like she's starting to read it, and the little Odabin guy shows up with the yarn, and so like, aw. And we get back to the A plot, put that in quotes, with Ida and King, where King makes this joke where I'm kind of okay with it, because they have like this soap opera channel. It's kind of like in the shorts where he's like, "What time's children? What if we make what if we create a network that's made for kids that's like like 6 to 11?" And he's like, "That's insane," which it is. And she's like, "Oh, there's only one thing," and she pulls a switchblade, and King's like, "What?" And then it's like, "Oh, it's apple slices in story time." And then the Bat Babies like listen to Ida. They're like, "Okay, come on, let's get this over with," because she hates kid stuff. And King even goes into the circle like, "Oh yeah, story time." She starts reading the book about Odabin, how he likes making friends, and the thread can bind you and stuff. And Luce, it trans in the Luce to the back to the B plot, put that in quotes. And Luce is reading about Odabin, and like, "Oh, this is cute." And basically, Odabin goes back into the book, and Edric and Emra is like, "Hey, look at this book," and it's like, "Oh, little Quackster," and "Oh, look what we can do." And they kind of defaced the property of this book and drew these muscle legs on this duck, and it's like freaking out. And then they close the book, so it's gone. And Lucy's like, "Oh, that was very uncomfortable." And say, "Hey, why don't you try?" And Lucy's like, I don't wanna." And Edric kind of like forced her hand to do it, kind of put the pencil in her hand and kind of did it for her. I'll show you how. And then made the Odabin guy mean. She closed the book. I don't want to see this. And then, okay. And I'm like, "Come on, I'm going to show you the book we wanted to check out." And she accidentally dropped the book, and it's open. You kind of see this hand with a claw, and it's like a tall arm. So, oh, okay. That's going to come back. And basically get to this romance section, and Lucy's like, "Oh, romance section, that's super lame unless you guys are into it." And it's like, "Oh, this is the book we wanted to check out," and it's The Lone Witch in the Secret Hideout. And they open the book, and this is a secret hideout. I was like, "Oh, cool, this is a secret hideaway." And they're both like laughing. It's like, oh, come on, why? That's stupid. Why would we want to be in the library? "Oh, teacher, I'm in love with a dictionary." And he's like, "Oh, this is Amity's secret hideout." And it's like, "Oh, okay, what are we doing here?" It's, "Oh, we're gonna get her diary, and we're gonna plaster the pages all over the school, and like that will teach us oh, isn't this awesome?" And Lucy's like, "Oh, don't you think that's a bit too harsh?" And it's like, "Oh no, she deserves this because we're her older siblings. She like deserves this. Like, it's a family thing." And basically she's been tattling too much on us for skipping class, and that's kind of your fault for skipping class, but whatever. But they come on, everyone search for the diary. And Lucy's like, "Oh, is this the diary? Nope, no diary here. Come on, let's go." And she finds the Good Witch's Zora books, and she's like, "Oh my god, the Good Witch's Zora books! How did they even have these here?" So like, a little theory of, the Good Witch Zora was a witch that sold her books here and on Earth, because Luce has this book too, and Amity reads these, so we can like read these things together, and we can have a little connection here. Okay, super cool. And basically she's like, "Oh, is this a hand drawn one?" And she opens it, and like, and it's like, I saw that human girl again, and she's like, "The diary," and she's like, I may have overreacted. I don't want to come off as cruel. I just can't show weakness." And she immediately closes the book, the diary. after she said the diary, she still listened to that first entry and like, Luz, that's such a private thing. I know she closed it instantly. You'd be like, no, because that she even knows that's inappropriate. So it's at 75 right now. Because like, Luz, like you still listen to that first entry when you realize it was a diary. Because you close it right away. Don't listen to the first thing, but whatever. It's at 75 right now. And it's like, oh, Luz, like, what you got there? It's like, oh, this is just a Good Witches Era Volume 5. And it's when the Good Witch goes through her goth phase, or what was it, Hecate? I forgot. And they do like a spell to get the diary, and said like Edric and Emma are cute by skipping class. Why did they get away with everything? So I'm kind of getting the feeling that they're like the favorites of all the three. But both of them over Amity. So that's kind of interesting. Is it? Oh, this is it. Were you trying to hide this from us, Luz? You see how she treats you, how she treats other people. Is it? And I know Amity could come across as cold, but no one deserves this. No, she does deserve this. And Luz like, no, hand that back to me. We are not doing this. And they're just fighting over this. And the pages of the diary fall to the floor. It's like, why won't the human leave me alone? I called my teacher mom again. I'm sorry that I'm sorry I haven't been writing lately. Wait, why am I apologizing? I wish I have a place to go. So that kind of tells me that she's kind of bothered by Luz, where to the fact where it's like, why is she trying to friend me? And I wish I had a place to go. I mean, she probably feels like unsafe. I called the teacher mom again. That's probably either a gag or she feels unloved by her mom, which is sad. And she's like apologizing to the diary. Like, hey, why am I apologizing? And another complaint in the episode where you kind of skip over it because of the whole Amity's like with the angry faces, like really? And it looks like, oh my god, it's not what it looks like. And she grabs all the pages like from Luz, like in the book, and Edric and Emma are just laughing. It's like, you two are the worst, and you. I've been trying to figure out what your deal is. Are you a poser? A nerd? I know now, Luz. You're a bully. And then she runs off. I have a complaint, though. Now what the Amity said, 100% true. Well, sort of. To her point of view. I'll get to that in a second. It's the fact, I know she overheard Edric, Emma, and Luz were going to break into the library. She's supposed to be a top student that follows by the rules, and she broke in too. That's not Amity's character, so I kind of had to, give guff to Amity on that one, so it's at 70. So this whole episode's like average, because there's no other complaints I have in the episode. But what she says here, what she said, I'm trying to figure out what you are, like what your deal is. Are you a poser? Remember, I was the teenage abomination. She posed as that abomination. She tried to pose as a witch. She lied and cheated, which is 100% true. And then it's like, oh, are you a nerd? Because she reads the Good Witches Era books too, and she made that reference in convention, like, oh, just like the Good Witches Era versus Hecate in the bog of whatever. I challenge you to a witch's duel, so they both like the same thing. Are you a nerd? But you're a bully because you came to my secret hideout, you read my diary, and like you trespassed in the library. Like, you're basically kind of bullying me. And she runs off crying. And Emma and Edric is like, oh, Mittens ruined the fun again. Oh, come on, we're gonna go, what is it, garden gnome tipping or something? And like, Luz is like, you guys seem cool and everything. And they're like, yeah, we're cool. But I'm gonna go talk to Mittens. I mean, Amity. And Emma's like, okay, see you around, cutie. And she blushes, Luz blushes. And you see Amity just crying, and it's embarrassing and heartbreaking. And Luz is like, Amity, wait. And she's like, first you want to bully me, then you want to be my friend. I don't get you. Pick a side. And she, no, please just listen to me. And Amity makes Amity's 100% right. Go away before you make things worse. Odobin comes, a monster open it, and it's a cool design with the beating heart and the book, and he has his claws and teeth, and he's like, oh, friends, are you buying the friends? Or stupid rhymes. And she's like, Odobin? And she grabs Amity, and like she drops like the diary with all the pages and stuff, and she's like, Luz. And she brings back to the little kid's corner, and she's tying up Amity, and like her arm is becoming like 2-dimensional. that was a pretty cool effect. And she's like, Odin, this isn't you. Like, someone did something to you. Yeah, it was Edric. Sort of forced Luce to do that by forcing her hand, literally. And Luce comes in. It's stupid to Luce, but we already know Luce is dumb, so she comes in with a poof of smoke. And he's like, Asura? And she's like, is it drawn okay? I went by the description. And she's like, Luce? And she's like, oh, right, the great good witch Lazura, grabbed her trusty staff, and she got the staff. Oh, it's gonna be a cool action scene. Oh, Lucy's such a dummy, but she throws the stick. It's the stick because this doesn't have any powers. Odin, the monster Odin, grabs the stick, throws it, and she just closes the book. And she says basically more than nothing now. And he's just tying up, Luce and Amity. She's tying Luce also next to Amity, and he's like, oh, friends, the binding of friends and friends and friends. And Luce is like, hey, you can't bind friends with friends, you monster. And then, I guess they wanted to go back to get more yarn, I guess. Or thread. And Amity's like, oh, good job, Lazura. And she's like, hey, I tried to save you, so won't, we're going to be stuck here forever. Is it? No, we're not, because they have one arm that's loose. And then she's like, 1, 2, 3. And then it kind of, book fell on Odin, and they're just running with the book on top of them because they had one that's tied and one that's not. And Aaron's like, okay, what are we gonna do now? And Lucy's like, I didn't even think that was gonna work. I was like, rah. And Aaron's like, she's laughing. And Monster Odin comes with the needle, and he's like, oh, friends won't leave me. Friends, whatever. And Amity grabs like a ladder, and she's free, and Luce saved her, so she's gonna save her, and she's wrapping like and she's trying to she's like rammed a cart at like Odin, and she's trying to free Luce, and he's like, oh, 3-dimensional, I missed you. And now Odin's like sewing Luce to like his chest, and then and Amity's like, Luce must right or wrong. It's cheesy. And it's a magic eraser, and they Luce, they catch, and then she erases the monster Odin, and she turns to the little cute guy again. And this is pretty cute because Amity gets to meet her like little plush toy, the thing that you look up to when you were a kid. And it was definitely kind of cute if you can meet Winnie the Pooh or Elmo or Blue's Clues or something like that. That'd be pretty cute. But anyway, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me. That's what Odin's been saying, and I'm sorry I was being a bad friend. And he said, don't worry, we're still friends. And gives that reassuring smile. I know I'm talking about all these great scenes you get to see Luce, Edric, and Emerald laughing. Sorry, but and Amity gives Luce that nod, and she closes the book, and Amity's sad again, and Luce smiles, and it's daybreak because Luce is like, whew, what an adventure! Like, thanks for helping clean up. And Amity with the right is saying, this never happened. And he's like, look, I know this does not make up for reading your diary, because it does not. I realized you only had volumes 1 through 4. And she gets the book, and she's like, thank you. Look, maybe you're not a bully. I haven't been a friendly switch either, but I'll think on that. And I'm assuming that she's gonna give the book back to Luce because she said you can borrow it. Luce starts staring down at Amity, and you go back to the A plot, put that in quotes. I just want to say that Luce thought Amity was kind of like Hecate, and Amity in parallel thought Luce was like Hecate, kind of like the bully figure. But I just want to get that out of the way. Back to the A plot quotes. She goes back into the owl house, and you see Ida with a smile on her face, and with King on her lap, and just holding the babies and stuff. And they're just like snoring. And Lucy's like, aw. And then the door opens, like, Hootie's like, hoot hoot. And then he's like, Hootie. And then you see the Bat Queen, and whoo. If you see a Miyazaki film, you would know that what this thing looks like. Kind of like similar. And she's like, oh, you must be Mama. He's like, yes, Mama is I, and I is the Bat Queen. And she's like, she's like, and like in the Bat Queen's like wake up and like try not to disturb Ida and goes inside her hair. You see the glowing eyes, and then she's like, she barks up a treasure chest, and it's like with a whistle, and it's like, oh, this is for troubles for Ida. Like, you know, she's owed one. And she like flies away, and he's like, "Oh, my babies! Oh, babies! Where are the babies?" And like Lucius like does sign language, like, "Oh, they flew away," and she's like, "Aw, I already taught you how to pick locks." And King's like, "I miss my babies." Well, no, first it's like, "Oh, Ida, you and King were very successful. Look at this, the money that this scary woman left you. And oh, look at this whistle. I washed it first." And, you know, he's like, "Oh, yeah, we did it all for the money." And King's like, "Oh, I miss my babies." And, you know, Ida and King are hugging each other. He's like, "Oh, I thought this might happen, so I got you this book. It's coping with an empty nest syndrome." He's like, "Oh, thanks, kid. Oh, how was your night?" Well, you know, it was good, then bad, oh, then maybe good." And then Hootie's like, "Oh, you want to hear about my day?" And he's like, "No, Hootie, that's not, no one wants to hear about that." And episode ends. Episode's average. You know, didn't do bad as I Was a Teenage Abomination, A Lying Witch and a Warden, and what's it called, Hootie's Moving Hassle. But Convention was better, and I'm not sure if this did better than Witches Before Wizards. I think it did. Or maybe it was like the same. Yeah, I think both this and Witches Before Wizards were both like a 70. They were just both like average, but I could be wrong. But yep, this is just an average episode. Like, you know, in a step up direction. So that's pretty cool. And you know, everyone, again, thank you for my 15 subscribers, and everyone, I'm gonna see you tomorrow for season 1, episode 8. What's it called? Once Upon a Swap. Once Upon a Swap. And everyone, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.